Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I went ahead and gathered up some of my favorite makeup products from summer 2021. I had a lot of really amazing makeup favorites from last summer, and some of them are still my favorites that I use on a daily basis even now. The roundup of products that I gathered up today are products that were my favorite last year that I'm not using so much this year. And some products that I'm using regularly still are sprinkled in this mix just because there were a couple of makeup categories where I'm still regularly using all of the products. I am really excited to get into today's video though because I remember enjoying these products so much, and I'm excited to see how I feel about them now and maybe kind of talk about the reasons why I'm not using them so much right now. I'm going to start out with some SPF. I really love the Everyday Humans Resting Beach Face SPF 30. This was definitely my go-to sunscreen last summer, and I also really enjoyed it as a base for makeup because it wasn't too heavy. I find that everything applies really nicely over top of it. It feels really moisturizing for an SPF, and I also really enjoy the finish of it as well. This sunscreen isn't my go-to this summer though. I've been really reaching for my Say sunscreen and my Coola sunscreen way more often just because I like the finish of those sunscreens a little bit more. I kind of feel like I can get away with not wearing makeup whenever I wear those sunscreens, which I really enjoy, but this is still a great one and I still use it really often. One of my favorite complexion products last summer was the LA Girl Tinted Foundation. I mainly wore the shade Tawny, and then more recently, closer to the winter time, I picked up the shade Medium Beige just because the Tawny shade doesn't really match me all year. I'm going to go ahead, probably end up mixing these because I think Tawny might be a little bit deep. I haven't really been spending that much time out in the sun this summer, and I haven't had a beach trip. I don't think I'm gonna get to the beach this summer, which is not a big deal. But usually I end up going to the beach at least one time over the summer, and usually also my family plans like a Florida trip to visit family, and we didn't do either of those things this summer. It's definitely been a little while since I've used this LA Girl foundation, but I still really enjoy it. I still recommend it regularly because I do know it's a really amazing product. It's also really affordable. It's usually on sale as well, especially at Ulta. It's definitely one of those like My Skin but better tinted moisturizer type products. My reasoning for not wearing this product as much this summer is definitely because I've introduced a lot of complexion products in my collection that have SPF in them. That's definitely preference though. I know a lot of people do not enjoy SPF in their makeup products. I personally do like SPF in my makeup products. I think that if I can get a little bit of extra sun protection, even if it's not like the best kind of sun protection, I think that that's definitely better than nothing, especially for the summer months when I'm outside a little bit more often, when the sun is a little bit stronger, it's a little hotter outside. I'm just adding a little bit more product, mainly in the center of my face. Just feel like I need a little bit of extra coverage. This tinted foundation is really awesome though. Like, I'm applying it right now and I'm just remembering why I loved it so much. It doesn't even look like I'm applying makeup to the skin. I wouldn't even wish that this product had SPF in it just because I know that there are a lot of people who definitely prefer their makeup without SPF, and you can obviously add SPF in, like that's not a big deal. But yeah, that's really just why I've been not reaching for this product so much this summer. For concealer, my favorite one last summer was the Kaja Don't Settle Concealer. This is still a huge favorite of mine. I wear it in the shade Sweet Toast. This summer I have been using the Kosas concealer a lot more often. Also the Say concealer, and then another concealer I've been using quite a bit is the NYX one, that Bear With Me concealer I've been using. But I do still reach for my Kaja Don't Settle concealer. I just have a few other ones in my rotation that I really enjoy this year. This is an amazing, really thin but pretty full coverage. I would say probably more a medium coverage, but for me and like what I like, it definitely leans more full coverage. But I really love concealer formulas like this that are just really thin. Yeah, I still really love the skin. Like, this combo is still so good. But yeah, I just don't use the LA Girl Tinted Foundation as much this year, even though I still do use it sometimes, and I still recommend the heck out of this product because it is an amazing skin tint. It's like my favorite skin tint from the drugstore. For bronzer, I pulled out my Refi Cream Bronzer in the shade Tan. I don't think I've reached for this bronzer at all so far this summer. Good thing it's not dried. There's so much product in this bronzer. I do wish I liked it more, or just like I reached for it more. Let's see how I like it now. It feels like a little bit deep for me at the moment. I've just been using my e.l.f. Putty bronzer so much, which was a favorite of mine last year. I still am using it so often. I've also really been enjoying my Mob Beauty cream bronzer, my Persona multi-stick bronzer. So yeah, I haven't really been reaching for this one at all. I don't know why. I just opened it up, and last year I remember having a problem with the packaging. Like, it takes so much strength to open up, especially because I usually have long nails. Oh my god, it's so hard to open this up. Yeah, usually I have longer nails, so like I risk breaking them. I'm pretty sure last year I did break a nail on this compact. It's just a little bit more complicated to open up. The cream bronzer is blending out really beautifully. It's still really pretty, but yeah, there's just so many other bronzers this year that I'm using way more often than the Refi one. I'm going to do my brows right now. I'm just using my NYX Lift and Snatch. This has been a favorite for quite some time now. It was definitely a favorite last summer. When I was watching last summer's summer makeup tutorial, I used this product, this Lift and Snatch from NYX. And I also used my Pacifica hemp fiber brow set, but I'm not going to use the hemp fiber brow set in today's video, only because I don't think that you can buy that product anymore. Anytime I've used it in a recent video, I've tried to link it and I cannot find a seller for it, unless maybe it's like on Amazon or something, which in that case, like, the product doesn't exist. Like, I do not trust when I can find a product only on Amazon. Like, what are you selling me? To set my brows, I'm just using my e.l.f. The Brow Lift. This is definitely a newer product, but it's one that I really enjoy, so. To prime my eyes for eyeshadow, I'm just using, ooh, that needed to be mixed up, oh gosh. This is my Milani eyeshadow primer. I used this recently, I don't know why it's separating. My favorite eyeshadows last summer were the Kaja Beauty Bento stacks in Orange Blossom and Toasted Caramel. I don't have a matte eyeshadow in front of me, so I'm going to just make all of these shimmery shadows work for me. I'm taking the middle shade out of the Toasted Caramel stack. I'm just taking that on a fluffy eyeshadow brush, and I'm applying that on the outer corner. We will see how this goes. Before I move on, I'm just going to set my eyes, my under eyes, with just some of my Undone Beauty Under Over powder, just because I'm using shimmery and like glittery eyeshadows, and if I have any like glitter fallout, I just want it to be really easy and be able to like swipe it away. From the Toasted Caramel stack, I'm going to use the first shade. I'm applying it kind of like in the inner corner and then onto the lid. This is super cute. I love these shadows. I still regularly use them. And I definitely prefer these little stacked shadows over like eyeshadow palettes. I'm adding that brown shade to the crease again, and like the outer corner and then the crease, just to deepen it up a little bit. Just kind of layering it. Oh my god, the Kaja shadows are so pretty. They're so, so pretty. It's definitely interesting doing like a completely glittery eye, but it's not coming out terrible. It actually looks pretty cute. Trying to figure out which one of these shadows I want to put on my lash line. I'm kind of leaning towards the Salted Caramel stack, only because it looks like it's a little bit less glittery than the Orange Blossom one. I'm just going to add this to my lash line. I need a little bit more color dimension. In the inner corner, I'm taking that lightest shade from the Toasted Caramel stack. One of my favorite mascaras last summer was the Oma by Sharon C Batter Boom Mascara. This is still one of my favorite mascaras, and I actually brought it on a week-long trip to New York with me. This was the only mascara that I brought, and I loved it. I loved it the entire time. It was amazing. It's seriously one of my favorite mascaras. I've had the same tube since last summer. And I do go through phases of like using different mascaras, obviously. I think that if I used this mascara every day, I definitely wouldn't still have it after a year. But I do think a new one is in the cards for me soon because I can kind of tell that this one is drying out a little bit. Usually this is my bad eye with mascara, but for some reason this eye is giving me some difficulties. So just going in a little bit with my lash curler. You might be able to hear Justin's parents' dog Connor. He's like a really, really old Yorkie. I don't even think he knows what he's barking about. Like, he is barking, he wants to go outside, but then he only like sniffs the grass outside. He doesn't do anything. He has to wear like those belly bands to collect his pee because he's constantly peeing. But yeah, he's just barking outside. Well, like out in the living room. I'm going to go ahead and apply this blush. It has been a really long time since I've worn this blush because the packaging leaks like really bad. I wish that wasn't a problem because I would just keep it like with all of my other makeup and use it a ton because I really do like it. I forgot if I needed to be quick with it, so I just went ahead and did one cheek at a time. But like the color is really flattering. Apparently the formula is supposed to be like skin benefiting. I remember when I first got this product, I was kind of worried about it not looking good over makeup. Like for some reason, the idea of a blush oil didn't make sense to me. But this product looks really gorgeous over makeup. It's kind of one of those products that would look a little bit different on everyone because it kind of adjusts to like work well with your skin. So it's definitely an interesting product and I did like it a lot last year and used it really often. But yeah, the packaging leaks on me. I don't know if it's just my product and if like other people don't have that same issue. But blush is one of my favorite things. So I have like a million blushes that I use regularly that I kind of like phase out throughout the seasons. I did have a highlight favorite last year. This is the Danessa Myricks Duet in Morning Dew. I don't think I've used this product at all this season. I really think it's just because I am not a highlight person, like no matter how much I try. I remember last year I really liked it because it was different from what I usually wear. Then at some point I just was kind of like, you know, there's like kind of a reason why I don't wear highlight that often. This one is just not really as natural as some of the other highlights I use regularly. So yeah, I definitely don't reach for it too often. I more so reach for like my Milk Bionic highlight or like my Say highlighter. I do really like this skin. I have no problem with it. I just don't really go for something this dewy. Like the blush oil and that dew wet highlight combination is a little bit more dewy than what I usually go for, at least this year. For my lips, I use this lip liner over and over again. In one of my last videos, I mentioned how I misplaced this liner, but I recently found it in a bag. This is the LA Girl Perfect Precision Lip Liner. This is just my favorite lip liner ever. Don't ever bother spending money on a lip liner, for real. I continue being a lip liner and lip gloss girl. The two lip glosses that I brought out are actually, they're both lip oils. These are the In Beauty Project lip oils in Glazed Donut and Froze. And then these are the Kosas Wet Oil glosses in that kind of undressed collection. What was it called? Yeah, I think it was the undressed collection. I have Unbutton and then Unzipped and then Unhooked. I definitely wore these glosses a lot last summer and I'm just like a big gloss girl overall. I cannot get enough of the Milani lip glosses that I have in my collection right now. So yeah, these glosses have definitely taken a back seat to those Milani ones, but these are still really good. I just need to decide what I want to wear. I feel like this In Beauty gloss in Glazed Donut is really calling my name. That smells really good. This is kind of just more like a clear gloss, especially when you're wearing it with a lip liner. This has been a favorite for ages. I'm just gonna finish up my face with the Urban Decay All Nighter. So here's the final look using all of my summer 2021 favorites. I mean, this is definitely a very typical look for me. I feel very comfortable in this makeup. This really isn't too far off from what I wear now. I just feel so dewy. And although like I really do love natural dewy makeup even today, I just think that this is so dewy. I think what is contributing a lot to that is the blush oil and obviously the highlight. But I'm kind of thinking too, because I have such a big all over glow, that a lot of my glow is coming from the LA Girl Tinted foundation, which is probably something that I wasn't super mindful of last year just because I was like so obsessed with the glow. You know, it was like very normal for me and like looked very normal on my skin. But yeah, right now I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm so dewy, and I just set my skin. So I'm adding a little bit more just powder all over, even on my cheeks. That glow is even coming through right now, even with that powder. I mean, one thing I do like about this powder is it doesn't really make me look too flat, but whoa, the glow coming through. I mean, it's gorgeous. I really enjoy how that looks, but I just really don't think I'm into super duper dewy glowy makeup this summer, or just like as dewy as I was into last summer. Let me know how you liked seeing these products in today's video. I'm wondering if it felt a little nostalgic to you from last summer. It definitely did for me, especially with the cheek products, because these three cheek products are really products that I don't find myself using this year at all, but everything else I do find myself using at least in rotation with other products, obviously, that I discovered and enjoy more so this year. But that is going to be it from me today. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed. If you aren't already subscribed, definitely go ahead and do so, and hopefully I will see you next time.